Do you love buying and trying new breast pumps and pumping is exciting to you? I'm not talking to you in this video. I'm talking to you in this video if you are continuing to buy breast pumps to solve low milk supply problem. So if you're getting low output, if pumping is painful for you, if pumping sucks or doesn't suck, and you're buying pumps to fix this problem, stop doing that. I'm not one to talk about buying too many breast pumps. I mean, seriously. That's not even all of them. But in this video, let's talk about some of the reasons that pumping may not be going exactly like you're wanting it to, and why just buying another breast pump may not solve that problem for you. If you go and ask your lactation consultant about breast pumps and pumping, the odds are is that they probably don't know a lot about pumping. And that's because lactation consultants are trained to handle really complex breastfeeding issues. This is the training that we're given. We don't get any minimal at best training on pumping. So we have to learn it ourselves. We have to figure it out. We have to work with enough clients to understand the world of pumping. So, I mean, I've said this before, but I just think it's important to kind of keep that in the back of our mind. I hate it when I see some bad or inaccurate advice given by a lactation consultant like myself to moms who are using pumps that is really not helpful or going to fix the problem. So let's just keep that in the back of our mind as we're talking about the world of pumping. It's important to find someone who really knows what they're talking about. If you have someone you love to follow on social media or one of your favorite people talking about pumping, will you post them down in the comments? I would love to check them out and interact with them and just learn more. I'm always learning too. Okay, so there's 5 things we're going to kind of talk about that might be going on here where the solution is not just buying a new pump, okay? The first one is your schedule. We have to look at the schedule, and we have to start by looking at supply and demand, right? If you want more supply, you have to have the corresponding demand. If you're exclusively breastfeeding, this is feeding on demand. You let the baby feed at the breast, they tell your body what it needs, and it happens. When we're pumping, it's a little more intentional. We have to get on a schedule. We have to stick to a schedule. We have to empty the breasts frequently in order to have the supply. So this is one of the first areas that we need to start with. Are you actually pumping enough? And again, that really varies based on what you're doing and what your end goals are. But are you emptying the breast enough that you're getting enough milk? The problem might not actually be the pump. It might be your schedule. When you start combining breastfeeding and pumping, this is where it gets really tricky because it can be really hard to know what is actually low supply, what is a pump problem, and what is just normal. For instance, if you pump after your baby feeds and you get 1/4 of an ounce, that might be really discouraging. But in all actuality, your baby might have just emptied your breast very well and your baby's growing and eating and healthy. So we might expect a low output right there. That doesn't mean you have low supply. That doesn't mean there's a problem with your pump. It just might be normal. Again, we have to kind of take all of this into consideration. Anytime you're combining breastfeeding and pumping, things get a little more tricky, and it's really helpful to work with a professional on making sure if you have questions that it's looking normal, because it might actually be normal. You might not need to spend money on another pump. The second thing we're going to talk about here is your flange size. So I recently did a video going in depth on flange sizing, and you can watch that one for more information. But having the right flange size is hugely important, okay? I actually just worked with a mom the other day inside my program where she was pumping with a flange size too big, which is very common. We found the right flange size for her, and her output almost immediately doubled. Now, she was pretty early postpartum, and we weren't getting enough milk out. So it wasn't actually that her supply had just doubled, but now we're actually getting the milk out that we need to. And that's a pretty drastic example. That doesn't always happen when we adjust flange sizes, but having the right flange size almost always leads to better output. And it may take a little bit of time for your body to adjust the supply. If it has been functioning at a low supply for a while because you haven't been getting the milk out effectively, if you have been running on kind of a low supply for a while because you haven't been getting the milk out effectively, it might take a little bit for your actual supply to increase. But often I see this when we adjust the flange size to a more correct size, that the milk output is better. And this is consistent. Okay, so Buying another pump is not going to fix this problem if it's a sizing problem, okay? So save your money. Let's figure out if this is the problem and go from there. The third thing we're going to talk about here is getting letdowns while you're pumping. And again, I have a few more videos on letdowns. You can learn more about how that's important. When you're breastfeeding, it's a lot more natural, right? When we're talking about letdowns, the oxytocin just flows more easily. You're holding a baby, the baby is sucking, you're getting stimulated in a lot of different ways with the baby's hands, sight, sound, smell, all of that. So letdowns tend to come just kind of automatically. When you're pumping, you're hooked up to a sucking machine robot, right? And it can, for some people, it just happens. It's like easy, milk comes out for me, easy, great. But for some, this can be a little bit more of an intentional process. And if you're not able to have those hormones release the milk down, you're not going to get good output, right? And it can be really frustrating when you're pumping half an ounce after a 20-minute pumping session. Something's not right there. It might be problems with letdowns. It might not be. It might be something else too, but this is a thing that we need to consider. It's also a lot easier to notice this step when you're pumping. Some moms never notice letdowns when they're breastfeeding. It's just happening and like whatever. You might actually notice it more when you're pumping. And so you're kind of more aware of the process and this particular part of the process because you can see it and hear it. And it's so visual when you're pumping. So sometimes that can stress you out a little bit. We got to be careful not to go the other way and be stressing. Where's my letdown or where is it coming? But also you'll just probably be more aware of this step. But if there's a problem with this part, right? With you, pumping stresses you out, you hate it, you're tense, you're at work, it's just like stressful. It's going to be hard to relax and let that oxytocin flow to get the milk out. So that may be something to consider. Buying a new pump probably is not going to solve that problem. The fourth one here is a really good one. This is having unrealistic expectations. So I think I see this sometimes when moms are shopping around for a new pump. They're like, I'm not getting enough. I need a new pump. And really, when we look at it, they are getting enough. They are able to feed their baby. Their pump is working fine. But they just kind of, maybe they follow someone on social media or they have friends or something that pump more per session than they do. And they think, I'm not pumping enough. I need a new pump. This pump is obviously defective. It doesn't work for me. I don't respond well to it. This is a hard thing because I'm being serious. I know this sounds like cliche, but everybody is different. Everybody's output is different. People do respond differently to different pumps. That's absolutely a thing. But I think really nailing down your expectations. How much milk do I actually need? How much milk do I need to feed my baby? And am I making that? Is my pump helping me get to my goals? Are my goals a little bit unrealistic? I don't know. These are just all things to consider. The whole reason I made this video is because it hurts me to see moms spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on new pumps, on pumps they think are better, pumps they think they need, when in fact they need support. They need help. They need someone who understands pumping and what they're doing. You would be way better off investing that money into a program like what I offer to have not only the help and support and confidence to make this all work, it may even save you money in the long run. Do you know what I mean? Because if you think about it, these pumps are $200 to $500 a piece, okay? It does not take very many unnecessary pump purchases to pay off my program, right? You could have just joined and been supported through this whole thing, made it way easier on yourself. And I find that a lot of moms are still coming and working with me anyway, even after they've spent $1,000 on different pumps, so it like hurts me. I hate to see you guys wasting your money when you don't need to. Again, if you like buying breast pumps, if you like trying new products, if you like pumping and exploring, more power to you. I am not one to talk because I have over 50 breast pumps, right? There is some things that are fun and I like trying new things and exploring. If that's you, then you can join my club of the Too Many Breast Pumps for Fun club. But if you're trying to solve your pumping problems by just buying new pumps, that's where the problem lies. Okay, and then lastly, it might actually be your pump. Okay, we talked about some other factors that might be going on. It might actually be the pump. Sometimes you end up with a suboptimal pump. And don't forget, on my channel here, I'm comparing a lot of pumps side by side. That does not mean that you have to have the best one to get to meet your goals, okay? There might be one that's like really middle of the pack in my comparisons, but it works really well for you. And most pumps are good pumps, like good enough to help you meet your goals. There are a few, however, that are not good pumps, and they typically don't work very well, that a lot of moms continually struggle with. And so sometimes we do actually need a better pump, okay? Also, sometimes we have to get a different style of pump to better meet your lifestyle. So, sometimes the answer is we need a new pump, right? But please reach out. I love working with the moms in my program and helping them pick the one that we think is going to be the most effective, right? So they don't have to waste time buying a bunch of different ones to try this out. Obviously, I can't guarantee that I know exactly the perfect thing for you, but we can narrow it down very, very close, and we can look at your goals and we can figure out what parts of your life are not functioning regarding pumping. Do we need a wearable pump because you're skipping pump sessions because your lifestyle just is not allowing you the time to sit down and pump connected to a wall? Maybe we need to talk about that. Even if the wearable pump doesn't empty you quite as well, can we use it to supplement your full emptying? There's a lot of different things that go on here. So sometimes we do need a new pump. So I will say that. But a lot of the time, buying another pump to fix specifically low output is usually not the solution. There's a list of coupon codes down in the description. I love getting these from companies and helping save you some money. I would really love to help save you a lot of money and save you from buying breast pumps you don't need. So if you want more information on knowing how to work with me, that is also in the description. I'm a big advocate of less is more. I really enjoy working with mothers and supporting them through their back to work breastfeeding and pumping process. What can we take out? What can we eliminate to make this less stressful on you? How can we give you this calm confidence to make this work, right? You can do this. You just need a little support and a little expert advice, and just having someone to ask questions to when they come up is huge. And for a lot of moms, this makes the difference. I can't do the work for you. I can't come over there and pump your breasts every 3 hours and make sure that we're doing everything right. But there are a lot of parts of pumping that are stressful and overwhelming. And so if I can help make that easier for you, less stressful, more calm, more fun, dare I even say making pumping fun, please let me know. I'd love to talk with you. All right, stop buying breast pumps unless you want to. See you on the next video.